Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into two massive forces that are constantly reshaping our world: protection and progress. We've pulled together 5 major stories right from our local community that hit the nail on the head when it comes to this dynamic. We're going to be covering the whole shebang, from rulings in the highest courts in the land down to the grassroots organizers literally working in our own backyards. Whether we're talking about defending our rights and our hard-earned assets or proactively building up our youth and mental health, these stories are all totally connected.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, safeguarding the vote. Then, confronting hate locally. Third, protecting business assets. Number 4, healing through community. And finally, celebrating academic excellence. Section 1, safeguarding the vote, navigating new voting rights rulings.
So, to really understand this, we kind of need to rewind a bit. The legal landscape around the Voting Rights Act has shifted, well, drastically over the last decade. Back in 2013, you had the Supreme Court's Shelby County v. Holder ruling. That weakened the so-called pre-clearance formula, which basically meant certain states no longer needed the federal government's okay before changing their voting laws. Fast forward to April 2026, and we have the Louisiana v. Kalilas ruling. This recent Supreme Court decision effectively limits how Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act can be used to challenge racially discriminatory voting maps. It's a huge shift.
And for civil rights advocates and Black leaders, well, this is a moment of really severe concern. Kristen Nimmers from the California Black Power Network puts it incredibly bluntly. She says, this is not just a policy fight, it's a fight over whether democracy is dismantled or expanded. See, advocates are warning that this Kalias ruling significantly raises the bar for actually proving discrimination. They argue it allows states to justify inequitable maps as just, partisan decisions, which they feel directly threatens minority voting power and representation at every single level. But to really grasp the full picture here, we absolutely have to look at the other side of this legal debate. Conservative commentator Craig DeLuz argues that the older court-ordered maps actually force states to draw these illogical districts that stretch for hundreds of miles just to stitch together specific populations. He stated, geographic compactness, one of the fundamental standards for legitimate districting, was thrown out entirely. The goal was racial arithmetic. So, from this conservative perspective, the new ruling is applauded as a necessary return to coherent geographic representation rather than, racial map drawing.
Moving on to Section 2, confronting hate locally, expanding support networks.
50%. Let that sink in for a second. According to the data, we're looking at a stark, honestly alarming 50% spike in reported hate crimes in California between 2020 and 2024. That is a massive jump, and it perfectly frames exactly why there's this unprecedented, urgent need for robust local support networks to protect folks right now. To meet that urgent need, the CA vs. Hate Hotline really stepped up. They responded to nearly 1,000 reports in 2025 alone. And the way it works is brilliant, really. It's built on 4 core pillars. It's anonymous, confidential, completely separate from the police, and totally safe from ICE. By offering this secure, trauma-informed approach that is completely removed from law enforcement and safe no matter what your immigration status is, this resource focuses 100% on the victims. It gives people a genuinely safe space to report and validate what happened to them, without the fear of further systemic blowback. Now, while hate crimes are unfortunately on the rise, it's not all bad news. Advocacy groups like Equality California have been working tirelessly to lock in permanent legal shields, and we saw a huge win with the passage of Proposition 3 in 2024. This officially enshrined marriage equality directly into state law, and it passed with a massive 62% voter support. It's just this powerful reminder that, yes, the need for protection is incredibly high right now, but our community's capacity to rally together and actually secure those protections, that's equally strong. Okay, Section 3. Protecting business assets, closing insurance gaps. So we've talked about systemic, civil rights, and physical safety. Now let's zoom in a bit to the micro level. Could your local business be secretly underinsured? Seriously, ask yourself that. It's a trap that catches incredibly smart business owners literally every single day. A policy that was absolutely foolproof 3 years ago, it can become outdated in a flash. Between inflation driving up replacement costs and just your everyday operational changes, you might have these glaring gaps in your coverage, gaps you won't even realize exist until, it's too late and you're trying to file a claim. Think about those everyday operational changes we all celebrate. They can actually age your insurance policy. Have you added new services recently, integrated some new digital tools, shifted your team to remote work, or maybe expanded your global supply chains? Every single one of these moves introduces new, hidden vulnerabilities into your business model. stuff your original policy was just not built to handle. And that can absolutely lead to denied claims right when you need the money most.
And this brilliantly illustrates why there is really no such thing as an evergreen insurance policy. You've got to watch out for what we call essential audit triggers. If you're expanding locations, hiring more employees, adding new services, or facing modern cyber risks like data breaches and ransomware, you simply cannot just set your insurance and forget it. Businesses have to proactively run comprehensive annual insurance audits. Working with expert advisors to customize your coverage, that is the only way to ensure your safety net is actually going to hold when it gets tested. Section 4. Healing Through Community, the Black Healing Summit.
Shifting gears to the progress side of things, let's talk about healing justice. This is a holistic approach that recognizes wellness is cultural, it's communal, and it's highly intentional. It moves way beyond conventional clinical medicine. And this exact concept was the driving force behind the 4th annual Black Healing Summit over in Bakersfield. Organized by Community Interventions, this incredible event just brought 350 attendees together to share resources, heal, and really just reconnect. And this event was profoundly personal. Teresa Tree Moses of Tree's House of Soul, who actually offered grief activities at the summit, she captured the vibe perfectly. She said, "Grief is just love with no place to go." Wow, right? She reminded everyone there that you can experience deep grief even right in the middle of positive life events. Like, imagine graduating from college but missing a parent who passed away. It really highlights the non-clinical, just profoundly empathetic healing modalities that people were able to access there. The sheer scale of support offered was incredible. Across 29 different vendor booths, folks had access to African art, grief support, birth options and doulas, holistic therapy, and even ancestral connection workshops. Whether you were building a 3D mixed media art tree to manifest your intentions or trying out traditional therapy mixed with sound and yoga, the summit absolutely proved a core philosophy of its organizer, Usedra Osby, that ultimately, community heals.
And finally, Section 5, Celebrating Academic Excellence, 47th Annual Graduate Awards.
$41,000. Yep, that is the massive sum of scholarship money awarded at the 47th Annual African American Graduate Awards Program at Bakersfield High School. Hosted by the Bakersfield Ivy Legacy Foundation and the AKA sorority, this event poured serious, tangible financial support directly into the hands of our community's absolute most dedicated young scholars.
And we are not just talking about a handful of kids here. 51 high school seniors were honored, right alongside 310 eighth graders who were recognized as AKA scholars. The event spotlighted just phenomenal students like Madison Harris and Sarah Holland, who both achieved mind-blowing 4.5 GPAs. No way, right? It's a stunning tradition of academic recognition that actually dates all the way back to 1978. It just goes to show that investing in our youth is for sure the most reliable way to guarantee future progress. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today and leaves us with a pretty vital question to chew on. How are you contributing to the protection and progress of your own local community? From understanding the legal battles over voting maps, to reporting hate, auditing our local businesses, finding holistic ways to heal, and funding the next generation of absolute rock star scholars, protection and progress require active participation. I really hope these sources have given you a clear, structured understanding of the forces shaping our world right now. But more importantly, I hope it inspired you to find your own place within them. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.